Yo, Kip Guy here. Hey, I am inside Barney Miller's showroom. If you guys haven't seen my last video, I actually did a huge tour of everything they have to offer. Really good guys here, great group of gentlemen that let me come over here and just take over everything. I made a huge showroom tour, so if you want to see everything they have to offer, they're here in Lexington, Kentucky, and they opened the doors to me. So thank you guys so much for them. We're still here. We're doing dedicated reviews. This one is the Paradigm Founders 100F. I am in here for a reason. So John Paul, if you don't know who that is, he's been on my channel thousands of times. He actually doesn't live too far away from me. He now works here, and he told me that he's looking to get new speakers, and he offered some cash for my kefs, and I had to entertain it. So I'm in the market for speakers, I think. And I think I know what I want, but there is a second runner up here, and it's the Founders. So I'm here today to listen to them, but I want to let you guys know what we have behind me. So these are the 100Fs. This is the mid tier. I think there's an 80F, that's your bottom tier. 100 is your mid tier, and then 120 is the big boy with the amplifier built in. And then you have the matching center here. This thing is massive. I love massive center channels. This is in the black gloss finish here, and then it's on a stand, of course. There are some Paradigm subs in the wall, which I'm more than happy to demo, but I'm here more for the speakers. So I'm thinking about these as my next purchase. They go for $27.99 each, so $6 grand a pair, you can call them. Then you got to get the matching equipment to go with it. So John Paul's with me. He is going to control some things. We're going to listen to a very quick demo here, a movie demo, just to hear how everything sounds in a movie application. Everything in here is Paradigm, I believe. And then I'm going to go 2-channel music if I can, or at least turn off the subs. And I want to hear what these speakers can do because they are under audition right now. I want to know if this is something that I should upgrade to, or if this is a downgrade. And I will be completely transparent with you guys, of course, especially because this is for me, more so for me than for you guys. So John Paul's going to play something. I don't even care what it is. I just want to hear these things. This is going to be the full Dolby Atmos demo first. I'll switch to my stereo mic for you guys, and then we're going to listen to a little bit of music, and I'll give you guys my overall thoughts in this room. It is acoustically treated. It's in a home theater application. It's sealed off. We got home theater seats. So I'm going to get a really good idea of what's going on right now. So let's get after it. All right, guys, so we just finished the demo. You guys heard the movie demo. I did 2 music demos. I know what I want to say, but before we get into the quick review of these speakers, I want you guys to know what this all entails. So again, 100F is the model number from Paradigm. These go for $27.99 each. So you can call it a $6 grand a pair speaker. And there are 5 different drivers in here, but it's a 3-way speaker. So even though there's 5 drivers, there's only 3 different functions. So of course, one function is the tweeter inside this really nice waveguide. John Paul's in the back of the room. He would tell you the same that I felt. He sat in the back of the room towards the left side of the room. I sat in the middle of the room, in the center of the room just about. And we both agreed that these things sound way larger than they appear. And especially for the 2-channel music listening, it was a huge sound to the point where he thought the surround sounds and the sub was on. I knew that it wasn't because I turned them all off. But this waveguide has a lot to do with it. So a waveguide pretty much does this kind of thing where it disperses your sound. It's not point source. It takes it and disperses it across the room. That's why it's so recessed in like a funnel. It's almost like a clipped horn, but not so far back. This is a 5-inch 6-inch mid-range here behind this grill. And this is taken from like the Persona line. They're like 15, 16 grand to get into that. So there's some borrowed technology here. So this is a I keep saying 5. It's a 6-inch mid-range. And then there are 7 drivers down below that give you the lower end. So they all had different purposes here, but 3 ways, meaning tweeter, mid-range, and then 3 low-frequency drivers. So not a bad setup. The cabinet is beautiful. It has a lot of nice curves and lines to them, almost like a diamond kind of look on the side. It's a glossy finish on the top and sides, and then it's kind of like this matte color accented, and it's kind of out of the enclosure itself. The only speaker in this enclosure, this cabinet that's sealed, is the mid-range. There's a port down below on each of their speakers here. It's down firing, which is nice because they are up against the wall, so there's less boundary gain because they're firing into your floor. And because it's carpeted, it probably diffuses a little bit of that sound to make it a little more nicer while it's back here in this corner. So it's a really nice speaker. It's well built. It's not a huge speaker, so you can stick these in the living room and they will be a nice piece, not an eyesore. But the only speaker that's sealed is this one. Everything else is ported, and it has a really nice big sound. I actually really like that about it. So I'm gonna sit down in these lovely Valencia seats and I'll give you guys my really quick review and if these are in consideration as my next speaker. All right, so since we're in a home theater kind of feel, I don't have a lot of lighting, but this is gonna be a really quick review for you guys. Will this be my next speaker? The answer is no. He's been talking to me on text for the last couple of days, and I've told him that I want new speakers because he's probably gonna take mine from me. And so he knew that I was coming to hear him, but didn't know I haven't told him anything about how I feel about him yet. So this is the first time he knows that they're not in consideration. Here's what I like about my KEF R11 Metas more. One, my KEFs are taller. So there is a taller sound just naturally. The tweeter on my KEFs are closer to ear level. I have the exact same seats at home, and I sit the exact distance away from my speakers as how I'm sitting here. And so I listen to demos that I actually demoed in my home before, so I know exactly what I'm listening for. And the KEFs just do everything a little bit better. I do, however, like the lack of neutrality that these speakers have, meaning my KEF speakers are super neutral. They measure pretty darn flat, not completely flat. I don't think any speaker is flat because of the room and the speaker itself, but these speakers are further away from neutral than my KEFs are, and I actually kind of like it because it gives them a different kind of character. So I actually appreciated that. They have a really big sound stage. They fill up the entire wall of sound. These are further apart from each other than my KEFs are. This room looks to be maybe 13 feet wide. Mine's 10 and a half, or maybe this is like 12 feet wide. Something in that ballpark. It's definitely a few feet wider than mine, and that extra distance did help make the wall feel better. But my KEFs feel bigger than these do in a smaller room. So I wonder what my KEFs would do in a bigger room. So I really like everything about the Paradigm 100Fs, the Founders or Foundation? Founders. I'm never gonna remember this stuff. The Founders series, I like everything about it. I have nothing bad to say, but this is more of a comparison to what I have. So if you're looking at the 100Fs, they are definitely a really nice speaker. They look good. They have a lot of performance to them. They handle a lot of power. They're rated for between 15 to 200 watts. So they actually, or 250 watts. So I think on their website, they recommend getting a 300 watt amplifier with them. So they're ready for the power. And we did listen to good moderate volume on the movie demos, and they don't break a sweat. You can tell that they can go way louder than we had them. We're in a showroom, so we can't be too crazy. But you can tell that they want all the power you can give. One thing I do have to give a point to is the center channel. I wish that KEF made a center channel as big as this thing is. I am a huge fan of big center channels. It has the same 6-inch drivers or 7-inch drivers as the floor standers do. So it sounds as huge as the floor standing do. We all talk about home theater where you need to match your speakers to be the same, or at least your front 3. Well, this is practically another front speaker, another tower speaker as your center channel, just horizontally, and then your tweeters in the middle. It's perfect. I have zero complaints about the center channel. Again, I have zero complaints about everything, but I don't think this could be my next speaker. The KEFs just do everything just a bit better. They're just better, which is okay. The Kefs go for $32.99 per speaker. These are $27.99. So I have the better speaker. I'm gonna keep what I have, but I didn't think that I was gonna buy them anyway. I actually have another speaker in mind. So stay tuned for that reveal. He knows what it is. He's not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you. You gotta stay tuned to see what speaker I actually think that I want. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to John Paul for turning everything on for me. Thank you to Barney Miller for allowing me to take over the showroom. Stay tuned for my next review. We're going downstairs to do 2 reviews. We're gonna do the Cantas from Focal, and we're gonna do the Fortes from Klipsch. So we'll see you in the next review. K-Pace Guy out. Peace.